Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope you're having a great day. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we're making some shaker cards. We're using a Queen & Co. shaker kit called Space. This is the cutest little kit ever. It has everything you need to create some fun space themed shaker cards. The front has some inspiration and it shows you the contents of the kit, but we're going to run through the contents really fast. We're going to start off by showing you the dies. You get 4 dies in the set. They have stitch detail along the edges. There's a moon. There is a rocket ship or a spaceship. You get a little planet here, and then you also get a star with a tail on it. Star burst. Not really a burst. Star, a trailing star. There we go. You get the sentiment stamp set. Has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sentiments in here, 9 sentiments, and they are fun. They coordinate with galaxy kind of a theme. These are your shape shakers, and you get 3 of each one, so 12 in total. I like that now Queen & Co. is putting them on a full foam sheet because the negative piece of that foam sheet comes in really handy because these are a little bit thicker than normal foam squares, so having that extra helps out a lot. But you just punch out the shaker piece. The inside comes right out. You could use the negative piece also to create a 3D element for your card. So each one of these punch out. The moon would be a great piece to use the negative with, the star also, and then you have the little circle that goes in the planet. Okay, as always, you get the acetate covers, and again, you get 3 of each one. Refills are available for this kit, and I'll list them down below in case you guys want to check it out. But that's the great thing about this is you have the stamp set, the die set, and there's options to pick up the shape shaker kit in case you run out, which is great. So this is the foam sheet. I didn't think I showed you, but you get a lot of extra pieces of foam in there, so keep those. So we're going to make a couple projects today. Some nice little galaxy themed projects. I'm just going to put everything back. I know I wanted to use the planet and the rocket ship, so we'll put these on the other side for our cards today. So we need some galaxy backgrounds, and so I thought we'd do some very basic ink blending with some oxide inks. So I sped this part up really fast, you can see. I wish I had superhuman powers. I could get stuff done this fast, but I don't. But I'm starting off with 3 different colors of ink. I started with the peacock feathers. This here is faded jeans. And then I'm going to dull down the color a little bit with some hickory smoke. And I left the center of my panel on the lighter side and just blended the darker colors out. Now, to add a little bit of texture in my background and a little galaxy look, I decided instead of spraying with water, I'm going to spray with my Sparkle Shimmer Spritz. So we have some nice sparkle back there. For my next panel, we're going to use the same colors but in a different way, starting off with the hickory smoke. I'm covering in my back panel. I'm going to go around the edges with my faded jeans, and then I'm going to go around the sides here with my peacock feathers. So 2 different kind of backgrounds. I'm going to spray it with my Sparkle Shimmer Spritz and then dab off the excess with my towel, and I think that's a nice soft fun background with a lot of sparkle. Okay, we're going to do some die cutting with the dies here. I'm die cutting out the planet with copper cardstock and then the spaceship with some silver cardstock. And I'm also going to cut out a circle with white cardstock. The circle die is from the foundation die set number 1. So there's 2 different sizes of circles in there, and I use the largest. Now I'm just figuring out which planet to go with which background. And once I figure that one out, we're going to take my paper trimmer and I'm going to trim down the panels so it will be slightly smaller than my card base. Now when I die cut everything out, I kept the inside pieces because those are great for the inside of your shaker windows to give, if you don't want that galaxy background, keep those shapes and you can place those in there. But using the smaller circle die from the foundation die set number 1, I'm going to die cut out a window in this panel. And I'm going to keep this window. I'm going to use this as a planet for my second card. Now I wanted to kind of inlay my shaker on the inside of my window. So I die cut out another spaceship where I wanted it right over the window. So it looks kind of odd right now, but my shape shaker piece is going to fit right inside there like a puzzle. I did add foam adhesive behind my panel. We're going to place this on an A2 size card base. Now we'll take our shape shaker piece. I thought about putting that in there and I didn't like it, so we'll use that for the next card. But you can see how it just fits in there beautifully. I'm going to remove the paper release off of the back of my foam here. Add that on the inside of the window. So basically there's a double layer there because the shaker foam is a little bit higher than my 3M foam tape. Now I'm going to go ahead and take those negative pieces and fill in the inside of my shaker just using some glue. Once everything's set in there, I thought we'd add a little bit of red over the silver foiling with my Copic marker just to give those a little flame-like appearance on the inside of it. And you can use your alcohol markers to color in that foil. The foil, again, it was just from my stash. And I decided to go ahead and go over that circle with a blue Copic marker. Okay. Next we're going to fill with toppings. Now I'm using some toppings that are new to me. These are the Fimo Fun toppings, and there's a bunch of different shapes in here. I chose the black and the white stars. I just added a few inside my shaker. We're going to add the acetate over the top. And we have a fast and easy shaker card. I think this is what makes shakers so easy with Queen & Co. I'm going to use my glue, add a thin layer around the edge of my rocket ship, and then place my silver piece right over the top. Okay, for my sentiment, I chose the sentiment in the Sam set that says, "You are out of this world." I went over my little piece of black cardstock here with my anti-static powder tool, and I'm going to ink up my sentiment with Versamark ink. And then keeping with the silver theme, I'm going to add some silver embossing powder, and then we'll go ahead and melt that so we have a nice shiny sentiment. Lovely. Okay, now I'm going to use my paper trimmer. We're going to trim it down and kind of block it off, making sure that it's evenly spaced on the top and bottom. And then we're going to add some foam squares behind our sentiment. Now on the left side, I'm doubling it up because this is going to set on the inside of my window there. And I just put one on the basically right underneath the R. Now for bells and whistles. This is always, Queen & Co has tons of bling, lots of bells and whistles. So I'm using some iridescent Goosebumps. This color here is black, but it says it's black, but there is a blue undertone to it, so it's very galaxy looking. And so I'm going to add a few of these, and then I'm also going to take some of the turquoise Goosebumps. We're going to add a few here and there, and then I'm going to use some clear stars to fill in our background. So we have a pretty full galaxy background. I'm going to put all these away, and then that finishes off my first project. Quick and easy with these shaker shape sets. Okay, for my next one, I already trimmed down my panel for my background, and this was the larger circle we had cut out earlier. I'm going to go ahead and adhere that to my panel. I'm letting it overhang just a little bit over the edge. I'm kind of positioning my planet where I want it to go on my panel, and then this way I know where to stamp my sentiment. For my sentiment, I chose, "Out of the whole galaxy, you are my favorite." I thought that was so sweet. Originally I was going to stamp with black ink using an acrylic block, but I thought, we'll add a little color to our sentiment. I love doing this. I'm going to place my panel in my mini Misty here, pick up my sentiment, and then using some washi tape, I'm going to mask off the galaxy and the favorite on my sentiment, and then I'm going to ink up the rest with my VersaFine ink. and then I'll just remove my tape. And then this way, the sentiment that says "you out of the hole" and "you are my" are inked in black. Now for Galaxy and Favorite, we're going to do the opposite. I'm going to mask off the first portion of my sentiment, and then I'm going to use the same oxide inks that I used for my background, starting with peacock feathers. I'm going to ink up those sentiments, and then I wanted a little gradient, so I'm going to add a little touch of the Faded Jeans. So there's a little two-tone in the words Galaxy and Favorite. And I'm just going to remove my tape, stamp the rest of my sentiment, and I love doing this. I think it just adds a nice touch. And you can see I got my sentiment crooked, but my tape wasn't tacked down permanently, so I was able to lift it up and straighten it out here. Okay, now we're going to build our shaker window. I'm going to grab the little circle shape shaker here, remove the paper release off the bottom, tack it down to my panel. I'm going to remove, I'm going to glue down the center of my planet. When you do die cut it, there is that the piece that's showing, but when you put your planet over the acetate, it covers it. You can see here. Okay, I'm going to remove the plastic off of the top so the adhesive is exposed. Add my same Fimo Fun Toppings. Put my acetate cover over the top. Add a little bit of glue, and then just add our planet. Well, I'm going to weigh it down because the glue takes a little bit longer when you're adhering that copper and silver cardstock. But I just trimmed off the excess of my sentiment circle. I'm going to add some foam tape behind my panel, and then this is going to go on another A2 size card base. Before we remove the release paper off of our foam tape, I wanted to die cut out a couple more stars and add my planets. This was a leftover piece from our first card. I thought we could add some foam squares behind it and place it in that top upper right corner just to fill in our galaxy. I'm going to flip it over and trim off the excess, but I'm going to keep the excess pieces because we can add a little bit more planets down on the bottom here. It's a great way to use leftover pieces. Place that on the bottom, and then I'm going to trim off the excess on this corner. And I thought about adding this one, but I didn't want to overfill it, so I think this looks great. So using a couple star dies from the foundation die set number 1, they were the smallest in the medium size. I die cut out a couple more copper stars, so this way they match my planet and I can spread out that copper color a little bit better. I'm just adding foam adhesive behind them, placing them in my little galaxy. Now we're going to flip this over, and we can remove the release paper and add that to our card base. We're using the same bells and whistles that we used for card number 1, our iridescent Goosebumps, and then our clear stars. And I love the way these turned out. It's super fun. Great way to use your embellishments too. I think it'd be fun with sequins also. But that's my second project. So these are the 2 cards that I made today with the Queen & Co.'s Shape Shaker Kit called Space. I hope this gives you some ideas on how to create some fun space-themed cards. Everything will be listed down below in case you guys want to check it out. I wish you a fantastic day. Thanks so much for joining me. We will see you again real soon. Bye-bye.